All right. Welcome back to the motherfucking pupil's life, dude. The fucking podcast that I do in the corner of my fucking bedroom, facing a half of a wall that my webcam is propped up on. And what else? The new apartment, new studio podcast that looks exactly like my old fucking apartment because I'm just propped up against a fucking white wall, dude. And I've got terrible lighting. I think, yeah, I've got pretty shitty yellow lighting. So here at the pupil's life, man, we just make do with what we got. It's what it is. All right, it's fucking what it is. When I do this, you're only gonna be able to see my fucking right hand because that's how close I have to be to the webcam, and that's how fucking long my arms are. All right. So the pupil's life is on a budget. All right, all right. Until you fuckers start to like join my Patreon or something, my fucking podcast is on a budget. All right, and it's what it is. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying it for what it is. I'm not making a penny off of this. I'm doing it for pleasure and for pain sometimes. I'm doing it for pain sometimes because if there's no pain, what are you going to learn from, right? No pain, no gain. Wasn't that a fucking Mark Wahlberg movie in like 2012? uh, I'm wearing the Jameson glasses. I'm wearing the Jameson glasses that my brother gifted me when I went to the World Series of Poker last year so that I could cover my bluffs, even though you can see through them. Not here because of the reflection on the light, but in a dimly lit room, which is most poker rooms, you can see right through my fucking sunglasses and right through my bluffs, right? I'm wearing these because I've been wearing them. It's fucking, what is it? Not summertime sadness. It's like it's the heat waves or something. I don't know. The point is I've had these in my desk, just like tucked underneath my desk for like 6, 7, 8, 9 months, and actually over a year because I went to the world. What the fuck am I talking about? I've had these for over a year, and I ride my bike without these when it's the summertime, and I'm just like fucking like riding my bike like that. So it's about time that I just start using the things I've got around me. Because again, I'm on a fucking budget, man. I'm on a budget. I gotta make do where do's need make, need met, need met, need need made. Uh, and yeah, man, I'm back on the bike because I'm back to fucking work, right? Like I'm back in those service industry jobs, man. I last time I was on this podcast alone, I told you I started a hotel job, and we'll get into it, right? We'll get into it, cause we'll get into the hotel job. All right, there's a lot to get into. We will get into it, but I don't want to get ahead of myself because I've got a lot to cover, and I also want to make sure that I cover you guys. How are you guys doing? It's Sunday for me. It's Monday for you, and it's the start of another monotonous week, right? Another fucking what day of the week is it even week where you get up and you think that it's gonna be like just a regular old coronavirus pandemic week, but then something happens, right? You're fucking your bedroom, all of a sudden there are ants in your bedroom, and you're like, motherfucker, dude, is a pandemic not enough? Like, is a pandemic not enough that now there needs to be ants in my fucking bedroom so that I don't sleep properly? uh, you know I don't know about you. That's just the kind of weeks that I've been having where I'm like, can this just please be another, like, I'm locked down and like, it's kind of boring, but I find my way to like entertain myself week, instead of a fucking move into a new apartment and the garbage disposal doesn't work and the stoves don't work. They burn your fucking food. So your meal preps that you make for your whole week, that plan is just fucking out the window, right? You gotta make do where dues are made, where dues are needed. You know, I get the short end of the stick. You know, my bedroom is a one window, and the window faces my closet. What am I gonna set up my podcast facing my closet, dude? There's no desk over there. You know, I gotta make dues where dues are met, dude. Right now I've got a fucking bandana over my desk lamp so that it's not too bright. And you know, any second now I might turn over there and it might be fucking in flames, dude. And then it'll be one of those weeks, you know, one of those I put a bandana over my desk lamp and it burned a fire in my bedroom week. I wouldn't be surprised, man. That's just the kind of weeks that I've been having, you know. It's what it is, man. But I hope your weeks are a little bit better. I mean, my weeks have been fine, dude. I'm just complaining. I guess today you would just say that any complaint that I have is a privileged complaint, right? Because my skin is white, and it doesn't matter that I am half Mexican because my skin is white, so I'm fucking white privileged, right? There should be something called biracial privilege, because that's what I am, dude. I'm a fucking biracial privileged fucking below the poverty line individual. You know what I mean? And it's me again, dude. It's just me. It's just fucking a solo podcast. I don't know about you, but I kind of missed it, you know? I had Jimmy Rex on last week, and that was awesome. But I kind of missed having this little fucking outlet that I get to come over and just, you know, complain, comedian, and fucking connect. The 3 C's of the pupil's life. Complain, comedian, connect. I'm also, dude, I stopped, like, I'm on no substances for the first time in, like, my whole life. Because I had done those ketamine treatments in January, and then starting February, I had the ketamine nasal spray. And I think it was like 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, that I was just like, dude, I'm using this kind of as a crutch. I don't want to use it. You know, I'm not using it as often, but it's still like, I want to go outside for a walk. Dude, I'm just going to fucking, you know? And it's like, why can't I just go for a normal walk? Why do I have to fucking spray ketamine in my nose just to go for a walk? But, you know, it did help to level me out sometimes. And now I'm just, like, fucking all over the place, dude. But I feel like I'm coming down back to a solid, sober neutral. A solid, sober neutral is where I'm at right now. If I could just figure out, you know, the baseline, the fucking basic survival needs, then I think I'll be at, like, you know, above average. But it's been you know, you're getting back into the job industry. It's easy to start getting back into it, but it's hard in the sense that you find a job and then you're like, fuck, now it feels like leaving that job is like a big decision, even though like before that job a week ago you didn't have a job, right? And it felt fine. But now it's like, oh, well, should I leave this job? Is it irresponsible? Like, what am I gonna do? And it's like, motherfucker, you didn't have a job a week ago. Why are you acting like this is now like the glue that's holding you together? It's not, all right? You can find another job, dude. But yeah, it's just been a lot of shit. It's been a lot of shit that's been coming together. And it always happens all at once for me. You know, it always happens all fucking smack once. And it's just like, oh yeah, dude? Oh, dude, you're getting guests on your podcast and you're proud of yourself? Oh, you're feeling your emotions, dude? Oh yeah? Oh, you think you're like on the right track, dude? Oh yeah, well here's fucking move into your new apartment, and fucking the truck that you're gonna use to move, it's gonna jam, okay? And then you're gonna get the short end of the stick, dude. Your fucking garbage disposal's not gonna work. Your stoves aren't gonna work. Your fucking fire alarm, you know that thing that's supposed to protect you? Yeah, that's just gonna go off. Anytime that you turn the stove or the microwave or any source of heat, the fire alarm is just gonna go off, right? So if your brother wants to make some fucking meatballs in the oven at midnight and you're asleep, you're just gonna wake up from now on because it's the fire alarm is just gonna go off. And that job that you were like super excited about, that's out the window, all right? Because it's not what you thought it was, but you're still gonna work there for like a week or two because you're gonna be like, oh, should I leave this job or not? And like you're gonna freak out a little bit. You're gonna listen to a podcast. It's gonna give you anxiety because you're gonna think about the elections and the fucking end of the world. But you're feeling your emotions, right? So like things are looking up for you, Nick. Yeah, man. So it's just, it's been one of those fucking weeks for me. It's been one of those weeks. One of those series of weeks because it hasn't just been last week, dude. It's ups and downs and oh fuck. Oh, dude. Wow, in the last 2 years I've started to burp a lot more, and I don't know why that is. But what was I saying, man? Yeah, I've just been having to sort of fucking, learn to be okay with the downs. And learn to sort of taper the ups a little bit off. Not taper them off, but like, all right, dude, don't let this get to your head. Don't let this fucking manipulate. Don't let your ego get a hold of this celebration, because then it's downhill from there, right? But what else, man? But yeah, I guess I'll get into some of that. I mean, we moved into a new apartment, my brother and I, and fucking, I'm saving $170 a month. So whatever the fuck is wrong with this apartment, it's worth it, because that's a quarter of the rent I was paying. I'm no longer paying. But I've got my fucking, instead of having 2-bedroom windows, I've got one, and instead of the window looking out at like beautiful trees and the sunset, it looks out at fucking a stairwell and the garbage bins that everybody throws their fucking trash into, and there's barely any light that comes through it because it's tucked away beneath a fucking, just building or whatever. And then, yeah, our garbage disposal doesn't work, dude. So one of the sinks, we can't use it because it just floods. And then the stove, it just burns. Like, you turn it on, you put the frying pan on, and it burns. Like, immediately, it's just like, pss, pss. So there's no, like, simmering. You try to make rice, it doesn't fucking, that's not going to go the way that you thought it was going to go. What else? The fire alarm, that's not even a joke. That's really the case here. And, dude, our fucking refrigerator, you know how some refrigerators have those two, like, drawers at the bottom for, like, produce? And they've got, like, a shelf on top that you can set shit down on. Ours just doesn't have the shelf, right? So you can use the drawers, but then a whole level on my refrigerator is just missing. It's just like, oh no, you just get 2 levels now. You just get 2 shelves. Even though you still are gonna buy the same amount of food and make the same amount of, you're just gonna have to fucking figure it out, You're just gonna not have one of the floors. We're just gonna take that out, and which is just fucking weird, man. you sign a lease somewhere, you show up, and it's almost like you know what I would compare it to? I would compare it to, somebody goes away for the weekend. Your roommate goes away for the weekend, and they've got like their favorite chocolate, they leave their favorite chocolates in the freezer, and then they come back and they're just gone because you ate them, and you don't say anything. They just like, they're so excited to see their fucking chocolates in the freezer. They show up, they open the freezer, and they're gone. And in their mind, they're like, huh, like, these were my chocolates. I didn't give him permission. He didn't even ask for permission. And he didn't say anything, like, huh. And so then you go to the person and you're like, hey, like, did you eat the chocolates that I left in the freezer? And they're like, oh, the chocolates. Yeah, no, they're missing. I know. I was gonna refill them. I was gonna buy you another bag of them, but there's just been some delays. And but we'll make sure to get you some new chocolates in the freezer. We'll put that on the maintenance list, is what the fucking front desk guy told me when I told him about all the problems. Dude, there's fucking mold in my bathroom. And I went to the front office, man. I went to the front office and I told the guy, which, by the way, we've emailed the guy 3 times. It just doesn't respond. And then I walk into the front office and he's on an iPad, just like chilling, just fucking swiping on an iPad. And he like gets up real fast. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Welcome. What can I help you with? And I told him, oh yeah, dude, I'm just here because we've got like a bunch of fucking things that aren't working in our apartment and we would like to get them fixed. And he said he somehow he knew what apartment I was in, without me telling him. And so he was like, oh yeah, okay, 2110, all right. So what seems to be the problem? And I said, I got mold in my bathroom, and the refrigerator doors, where the fucking shelf should be, there's just no shelf there. So we would like to have a shelf so we can put stuff on it. And then the stoves, the thing that you use for food, the thing you survive with. Yeah, so we can't make food because it just burns through all of our food. So the stoves aren't working. And what you use to like wash the dishes after you're done cooking? Yeah, so the sink, ours just floods because the garbage disposal doesn't work. And then I just told him all the fucking things that I just told you. And he was like, yeah, I'm sorry about that. So there's not really a reason for why it hasn't been put in the maintenance. But I'll make sure that they get that they receive that from me today, and they might be out on the premises already taking care of that. And I was like, motherfucker, I just came from the premises, dude. There are no maintenance people on the fucking premises. These are my fucking chocolates, dude, You can't just eat my fucking chocolates. Dude, I didn't pay fucking hundreds of dollars to move into an apartment that doesn't have my chocolates in it. You know what I mean? Where the fuck are my chocolates, Brandon? That's his name. Where the fuck are my chocolates, Brandon? Where the fuck are my chocolates, man? That's the next thing I'm going to say to him. Because when I went in there, I was just like, hey, man, do you know where my chocolates are? But it's just, for me, it's like a one and done, dude. If one and done doesn't do it, I'm going to go back in there. Hey, Brandon, where the fuck are my chocolates, man? I told you not to touch them. It's fucking unbelievable. It's fucking unbelievable, mate. So yeah, dude, that's the new apartment. That's just fucking how it is, I guess. These days, the standards, they're set pretty fucking low, dude. So be careful where you move into, because you never know when there's going to be some chocolates missing. I I started that hotel job, man, and I tried. I really tried. I you know, I tried to make it work, but it's just too much, man. Like 8-hour shifts, 5 days a week, and you're talking about a half-hour bike ride each way, plus a shower before and after. So you're talking about 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's 50 hours, dude. Making $10 an hour. Yeah. No thanks, dude. Not on my watch. And not only that, dude, it's not just about the money. It's the time. This last week I just completely lost track of all my fucking projects because I was there practically all of the week. It's not just that, it's that I'm there, but I'm not doing anything, man, because there's nothing to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's a brand new hotel, it's a soft fucking opening, and so I'm a bellman, dude. I'm a bellman when there aren't barely any guests to check in, dude. And the people are amazing, the hotel is amazing. It's all like a perfect setup. It's just too much time and nothing to do. I was literally, if I wasn't heavy lifting, dude. So I fucking move a bunch of heavy boxes, and then the next day I go to work and it's like, hey, we got more boxes for you to move. And I'm like, motherfuck, dude. I'm not a fucking mover, dude. I didn't sign up to be a mover. But I do it anyway, right? Because it's a team effort. And then as soon as we're done unpacking shit, the next couple of days, it's just like, all right, we're just going to have you stand in the fucking lobby. Which I guess, that's the fucking position of a bellman. I can't complain. It's what I should have expected. But it's just too much, man. It's too much to just stand for your job to just stand. Like I could never be a bouncer. In some ways this is good. It's given me some information. I could never be a bouncer. I could never be a security guard. I could never be fucking like a door guy just at one of those bars like fucking midnight, dude. What else could I not be? I could never be a fucking bellman. I could never be like an informations person. They have those little information desks at like a huge mall or like a fucking airport. And it's just like, hi, I'm trying to get to my gate in D3, but I have 20 minutes to get there. And I'm just like, it's the first person I've talked to in fucking 6 hours. I'm just like, yeah, D3 is just walk over there, take the train, and then you'll be there in 5 minutes. Like, I need something to stimulate me at work, but not drain me. And standing around in a confined space, that's draining, man. That's draining. I was joking around with one of the other bellmen that like, this should be a fucking game show, dude. Like, who can be the bellman the longest? You just put two people in a fucking room. They just have to stand there and collect money for standing, but not do anything, dude. You'd be surprised how fucking crazy you can go. I was talking to him, and he was like, dude, I'm fucking like, I'm not even kidding, dude. Like, I'm depressed. And I was like, dude, I'm right there with you. I've thought about walking outside and hoping for a car that hits me like 6 times already. But I'm still standing here with you. Man. But it's taxing, dude, and it's depressing. It's demoralizing to just like, to collect money and not do anything for it. You want to earn money. You don't just want to fucking be a stand-in, right? Because they might as well have like a cardboard cutout of me and just fucking like pay me half of what they're paying me, right? So yesterday was my last day at that job, and today I did a fucking like a trial thing at a food truck, and And so that's what I'm gonna be doing instead. It's just, they only need like 2 to 4 shifts a week, I think. And even if they need more, it's like 6 to 7 hour shifts. It's 15 minutes away on my bike. And I'm actually doing something, and not just doing something. I'm making and like healthy food for people. So it's just even though they're in the same industry, dude, it's a completely different ballgame. I'm excited about the work because I'm giving people things that are good for their health. And I'm learning about things that are good for my health. But I'm also, I've got a lot of different tasks that I could be doing. I'm not just one thing. And it's very physical, so I can just like focus on physical stuff and then come home and do all the mental work that I need to do for the podcast, for my writing, and all that shit. So yeah, in a way, it worked out for the best, But so yeah, so that's what's going on, man. I'm kind of bummed that I'm leaving the other bellman behind and all the other people. I really like the people at the hotel, but it's like a relationship. You feel bad for the other person if it's got to come to an end, especially if like they're unprepared and you're just like fucking over it. But you're not doing them any favors by sticking around. They deserve somebody that wants to be there and that fucking loves them. And this hotel deserves somebody that wants to fucking be a fucking like amazing bellman, And that's probably the other guy, the guy that's staying there. He's probably gonna become that, unless he also fucking can't stand it. But yeah, at least I met the guy, right? He's a pretty cool dude, and so yeah, that's the fucking hotel, man. That's the hotel. My I bought I don't even know if I talked about. I don't even know when the last time that I did this fucking podcast was, man. But I had purchased a plane ticket to go to Cancun to go see my dad. And, as I said, when it comes, dude. Or what's the saying, dude? When it hits, it fucking smashes. Or when it flows, it over. What's the fucking saying, dude? You know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm just never gonna remember it. But it was Spirit Airlines, the lowest fucking of the low. And they just emailed me, hey, your flight got canceled. COVID is a weird time and fucking blah, blah, blah. They didn't even say like something happened. They just said, oh, weird times, COVID, flight's canceled. Here's a fucking voucher. And so I changed my flight. The earliest that they had it, I was going to go in October. And now the earliest that you can fly to fucking Mexico on Spirit Airlines is November. And it's like, God damn it, dude. Now I got to wait a whole nother month to go on a vacation, dude. Do you know when the last time I was on vacation was? Like a fucking outside of this country vacation? Probably like about a year. Over a year now. But again, dude, these are all biracial privilege problems. So who am I to complain, right? Because my problems don't matter if I'm fucking biracial or if I'm white. I guess that's the new normal. Is like, if you're a certain color, your problems don't matter, man. Your problems don't matter. Dude, I wanted to talk about this because I think a lot of people experience this, but it's not talked about enough. And it's not talked about because it's kind of like when you experience it, you almost don't even know that you experienced it. So when the pandemic started, when the whole lockdown started, I should say, probably like a month after, my dad called me and he was like, oh, dude, one of my workers died from coronavirus and my dad's got diabetes. And so it was like kind of a serious phone call to receive. And I was not working, or I quit my job soon after that. So I had a lot of free time, right? and I had some money saved up, but I was like, oh, well, I don't really think it's the right time to go visit my dad. And I started to find reasons not to go. So at first it was like, well, I don't have that much money saved up. Bullshit. I had like 3 to 4 months money worth saved up. Oh, well, what if I give my dad coronavirus? All right, that's like a legitimate concern. Can you get tested though? I can, dude. Oh, well, I thought at first, I just didn't even research. I was like, well, tests are expensive and I don't have money. So I just continued to, that's 2 things I rationalized. And then the third was like, well, maybe I should get a job, right? Maybe it's irresponsible to leave while I'm unemployed. Basically, I found reasons not to go back home and reconnect with my dad and reconnect with myself, right? I haven't been home in like over 2 years. I'm just going to take these off, dude. It started off as a gag, and now all of a sudden I'm half an hour into the podcast and I haven't taken them off. But, yeah, so when my dad told me that news of him like potentially being at risk, what I felt was like, oh shit. Basically, he might be overreacting, but basically what my dad was saying was like, I might drop dead any day now, right? If that happens, when that happened, I should say, my instinct was like to rationalize, number one, why he was overreacting and why he really wasn't at risk. But also, that was because I was afraid of like him actually dying. And so I tried to find ways to convince myself that it wasn't real. But the reality is that it was real. And what that meant was, oh, I might never get to see my dad again unless I go visit him soon. But then I found all these other reasons for why, like, well, it's irresponsible. Is he really going to die? Like, about, like, because that's just how we are conditioned, I think, in society. It's like you should value work over connections. You should value financial safety over connections. You should value fucking pretty much anything is valued over human connection. And even though I know that, it still happened to me, and it took me a while, It took me at least 2 to 3 months for me to be like, wait, what am I doing, man? I'm gonna not go see my dad who might die because of a $10 an hour job at a hotel. But that's genuinely the thought process that was going on in my head. That was another thing. It was like, oh, well, I just started a job. I can't just take some time off right after I started a job. And what's funny is that when I called my dad and I told him about the job, he was like, well, what about the trip to Mexico? Have you told them about that yet? They might not be cool with that. And I told him, well, at this point I had already made up my mind that I was going and learned what I'm about to share with you. But my dad, I told him, well, if they don't understand, then I'll find another job. And my dad immediately was like, more like another plane ticket, right? It's like, it's so ingrained in every fucking person that it's like, I know this isn't exactly the situation, but if my dad was going to die in 2 months and I was going to go see him before those 2 months, and I called him and told him about a new job, he would have still been like, well, but son, you gotta make sure that you don't lose that job, right? Because everybody operates under this fucking blanket of fear. And it's so hard to lift the veil up a little bit and be like, oh, wait, there is so much more joy and love when you lift it up and you realize that you've been like hiding this whole time. Because, dude, if I go and this job decides to fire me, this job that I already quit myself, if I go and then I get fired from that job, do I want to work there even? Do I even want to work at a job that doesn't want me to go see my potentially dying dad? No. And that's the same, you can say the same thing for everything. You know, you're in a relationship with somebody, but they don't understand that you cheated on fucking some girlfriends, and you know that you've done that because of childhood trauma, and you're still learning and you're still growing as a person, and you know, like, that you've gone through shit. If you're with a person that doesn't understand that you've gone through shit and that everybody goes through shit, do you really want to be with that person? That doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with them. That just means, like, they're not ready for someone like you, dude. And so you're going to waste your time and you're going to waste theirs, right? But a lot of people will lie and they'll be like, well, but if I don't tell them about this, then they'll want to be with me. And it's like, yeah, dude, if you fucking, the genie's going to come out of the bottle at some point, and the sooner you let it out, the less pressure it's going to come out with, you know? It might just fucking blow up in the bottle if you don't ever let it out. And then you're going to go blind and fucking get shards of glass in your face. But my point is that you know, it is very easy for me and for everyone else. But even though I know this, it's still very easy for me to rationalize why I shouldn't do something because it's irresponsible or it's selfish or it's narcissistic, self-indulgent. And that's really just because, at least in the US, the culture is designed to make you feel like taking care of yourself is wrong. And that's why there's fucking mass suicides and there's a fucking heroin epidemic. But we don't talk about it because then we would be confronted with, like, wait, why are these problems even there to begin with? Oh, dude, because everyone's fucking miserable because they don't connect with anybody. And you'll find out, like, when you do these kinds of, when you do make these decisions, you immediately feel like, oh, dude, this was the right decision. Oh, fucking thank goodness I made this decision. Because it's like connection. Nothing trumps connection. Nothing trumps connection, especially after what we have witnessed in the last 6 to 7 months. Like, dude, your job might not even be there 2 months from now, but you're gonna, you know what I mean? It's just something that I was mulling over that again, I think everyone goes through this, and when you go through it, you don't even know you're going through it because you think you're doing the right thing. You're like, well, yeah, dude, it's fucking irresponsible to take a vacation, even though, like, let's say you're fucking having insomnia and you can't even go to sleep and you're depressed and you just got broken up with and blah, 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 and you need time off. Your body needs time off. You're still going to be like, well, but they might, like, change my schedule if I leave for a couple days, or they might think that I'm not as dedicated to the mission. And it's like, dude, that's bullshit. If they think that, you shouldn't be there. That's about as close to, like, a simple truth as you get. Is like, if they don't understand, then you probably shouldn't stay. So that's that, man. That's the serious part of the podcast. What else, man? What else is going on? I saw Tenet. I saw Christopher Nolan's. Dude, that was like, you know, that's the thing, dude, is, I know I haven't even started saying the thing, and I'm already, like, getting excited. But, like, the thing about people that are, like, living in fear is that, and I'm one of those people, you know, I oscillate. I go back and forth. But the thing about people that get upset at people who go out to the beach and go out to the river, during the pandemic, or, movie theaters reopen. I saw this one comment, dude. I saw this one fucking comment. And you shouldn't ever read Facebook comments, right? But I fucking did, because I'm just as guilty as everybody else of indulging. I forget what the post was, but it was basically somebody celebrating that movie theaters were going to reopen. And then the first comment was like, oh yeah, you fucktard. You're happy that just because you want to go see a movie in a theater, millions of people are going to die now because of your fucking, you just want to go to a movie theater, you can't watch it at home. And it's like, I went and saw Tenet in theaters, the new Christopher Nolan movie. And dude, it was like, I hadn't gone to a movie since pre-coronavirus, pre-March. And it was one of the most like, the experience was rejuvenated. You know what I mean? I already enjoyed movie theaters a lot more than before, because I seldom went. And so when I did, it felt like a fucking, like Dane Cook says, like a cinematic adventure. And my brother and I went and saw Tenet, and we fucking dude, we each got our own bucket of popcorn, and we don't drink soda, but we each got a fucking liter of Coke. And we also we try not to eat treats, but we both got like a fucking box of Bunch of Crunch. And it was like the old days, man. It was like it was circa 2008, San Francisco, 6th grade, with William Berryhill. He would take me to the movies, dude. I was like 11 or 12, and he was like, hey, you want to go watch Superbad? And I'd be like, fucking, that R-rated movie that I'm not supposed to? Hell yeah, dude. My mom would give me $20, go to the movies, dude. Fucking Bunch of Crunch, soda, and a fucking bucket of popcorn, and let's go, man. That was, dude, you know what I mean? Like, those are the people that are opposed to you having that experience because of false data and false information and fear. There's a reason that they're doing that, is because they're not allowing themselves to do the same thing, so they're upset at people who are allowing themselves to be happy. And I'm saying that from experience. I've been that guy, dude. I've been that guy. But I went to the movie theaters, and man, I went to the AMCs, and at least, I don't know about all the AMCs around the US, but at least the ones in Austin, dude, you press a fucking button, and then it's like, your feet just fucking like, and then you go back, and it's almost like you're laying in bed. And I don't know that there's anything quite like it, at least not in coronavirus times, like, I don't know, man. There's no feeling like going to a movie theater, lying down with a bucket of popcorn, a sody pop, and some chocolates, dude. It's like, and Tenet, dude, a movie that you're like dying to watch. It's just the ultimate sort of I don't know, the ultimate fucking movie cinematic adventure, dude. I don't know. People say that it's dying and it's gross, the floors are sticky and blah bitty fucking blah, dude. Where I go, the floors aren't sticky. It doesn't smell. People aren't talking, and you get to lie down like you're in a fucking bed. So it just makes it more exciting, If you're at home, you're like, you've been at home all day, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna fucking watch another movie. Like, you watch 2 movies instead of 1 because it's easier. And it's like, you gotta drive there, you gotta park your car, walk out, like, get the tickets, say hi to some people that are taking your orders, and contribute to society by fucking exchanging money for goods and tipping people, and then you go to the little soda. Should I mix it, dude? Should I put some Sprite in my Fanta, dude? Should I put some Sprite in my Fanta, dude? Should I put some Coca-Cola and some Sprite in my Fanta, dude? And fucking Should the Bunch of Crunch, should we just sprinkle them over the popcorn so that it melts a little bit and it's chocolatey popcorn, dude? Oh man, I almost want to just go back to the movies just to watch whatever else is out and just to have those treats in my hands. But the movie itself was was just all right, you know. I won't go into spoilers, but the one thing I will say is that I understood, I would say 80%, 80 to 85% of what I watched. So I got a gist of the general plot, you know. Oh, this guy wants to reverse time so that this other guy doesn't end the whole world. And then there's also this woman that he's trying to protect. So there's the romantic interest and blah, blah, blah. I sort of understood how the concept of time reversal worked. But there's a lot of times where something happened and I was like, I don't know what the fuck just happened. And I was in the minority. Okay, so get that. I understood about 80%. And I was in the minority. My brother said he didn't understand half of it. Partly because there's a lot of, I think it's like poor sound mixing. So there's scenes where they're wearing like gas masks and you hear just like, you gotta get to the chopper, you gotta get to the woman. And you're like, dude, can we get some fucking subtitles? Like, why aren't movies that are played in theaters played with subtitles? Like, dude, I went and watched The Lighthouse back in whenever it came out, and that didn't have subtitles, and it's like, this is like old English, like fucking sailor mouth old English. I don't know what half of what they're saying is. But so yeah, just understand that like people walked out. And I assume it's because they didn't know what the fuck was going on. So it's a very, very, very convoluted and complicated movie. It's still fun. Like, if you don't get it, it's still fun. And it's still kind of, like, neat, you know? Like, oh, wow, like, Nolan and all these stunts and whatnot. But I will say that for a Nolan movie, like, the stunts weren't all that great. You know, yeah, there's so much talk about the fucking airplane that they crashed into the hangar. And when you watch it, it's just like, all right, it's cool that it was real, but visually, it was kind of a letdown. You know, there's not like a huge explosion, and it's just sort of like, you admire it because you know what the amount of work that went into it, but it's not something you would say like, oh, dude, I want to go back and rewatch Tenet because of that one scene. So, I don't know. I'm not like a movie review podcast, but if I had to rate the movie, I gave it like an 8 out of 10, you know. So it's like above average, but I don't know that you need to go watch it in theaters. You know, unless it's like right now. That's the only reason I would say go watch it in theaters is because it's what it is, the world right now, and the cinematic adventure is worth it. All right, so if you want to go fucking splurge on some soda and some fucking put some Sprite in your Fanta, dude, like that's worth it. All right, but the movie, it's good. It's all right. You know. What am I at, man? What am I at? All right, we got 10 more minutes of this. And we got... dude. I wrote down, one of my notes was Lionel Messi leaving Barcelona. And he's not leaving anymore. But what a saga, dude. If you don't watch soccer, you could probably tune out for the rest of the podcast. But what a fucking saga. You know, the best player in the history of the sport is being held captive at his soccer club because the club doesn't want to let him go. Um, it's weird. It's weird. Everybody thought like he's really gonna leave. Like he always said he wanted to retire at Barcelona, but the way things have been the last couple of years, he was just like, it's time for me to leave, and it's best for the club if I leave too, so that they can start to rebuild. And then the president of the club was just like, we're not gonna hold talks with Messi unless there are talks for him to re-sign a contract, to renovate his contract. And it's like, dude, this guy put your fucking club on the map. The titles that your club has won, over half of them are because of him. And this is how you repay him, is by telling him like, what you want doesn't matter to us. What we want matters more. So go fuck yourself, dude. You're gonna play for us for another year, knowing you don't want to be here. It's almost like the longest yard, dude. Like a bunch of prisoners playing for their freedom. And selfishly, I'm like, all right, dude, fuck yeah, I get to see him play for another year. But it's like, it's going to be weird watching him play knowing that he doesn't want to be there. He's still going to give it his all, but it's also like he's unhappy there. It's like if I had to stay at a job that I hated for another year just because of a contract, I wouldn't be like a piece of shit and like not put in the same amount of work, but it would be hard to do that because I would be depressed and I would just be like, fuck, I don't want to be here. Yeah, man, it just puts a weird taste in your mouth as a fan of Barcelona. It's like, this is how they treat their players. This is what I'm watching. All right, But we'll see, man. We'll see. It's another year, and maybe he'll change his mind. Like, that'd be kind of weird, though. I had already gotten hyped up about seeing him play somewhere else before he retired. Yeah, but that's just such a bizarre like concept. Is like, it's almost like when Ronaldo left Madrid and went to Juventus. It's like you see him in a different jersey and you're like, oh man, this kind of takes you a while to get used to it. I wanted to see that with Lionel Messi, and I hope I still get to. I hope he leaves next year. But yeah, man. What else? I have this guy Philip McKernan, who's gonna be on the podcast this next week. I'm talking to him on Tuesday though, and there's something different about having like not real but like professional guests on the show versus having my friends on, because these people are like very successful, and I've just noticed that I get really nervous, and I get really nervous because they're really successful, and so you know that an hour of their time is worth fucking thousands of dollars. And also, they don't know who the fuck I am. And so it's like, I don't want to be that guy that's like taking up their time. I want them to be excited about talking to me. And I also, for selfish reasons, I've listened to a lot of these guests on their own podcasts. So I'm like, all right, dude, how do I extract something from you that no one else has? Because I don't want to just have the same fucking conversation that I've heard over and over. But, it's exciting that I'm getting these guests on. It's something that I never thought that I would be able to do so soon into the podcast. Like a year, I was like, I probably need to do this for a couple years before people want to come on. And it's like, that's not true, man. Again, it's like rationalizing the trip to Mexico. It's like, where did you get that information? Oh, well, it's coming from a belief that I won't be able to. It's not coming from evidence of any kind. There's hundreds of podcasts that have guests on that have very few followings or whatever. But dude, Philip McKernan, I haven't even done the conversation podcast thing, whatever. I haven't even done it yet, and I'm already like, dude, this is gonna be the best one, because he is just he's I'm not even gonna get into it, but he's like, dude, I don't know. I don't even want to build it up for you. I'm saying I am saying get excited though, because he is a special human being. And I think we need more people like him. But fucking dude, I don't know, man. I don't know what else. At this point I'm just reaching. I got some copies of Palate Cleansers for the Meek, my new collection of short stories. So if you want a signed copy of that book, you can email me, nikoagf@gmail.com, and they're $20, and that includes shipping. Amazon retail price for a paperback is $15. So, it's really just a couple dollars more than it would be if you bought it on Amazon. And I'm shipping those out myself. So if you want to support a local fucking artist and maybe get some better lighting on this podcast and read a dope fucking book, because I'm really proud of it. I think it's probably my most mature collection of short stories. That's Palate Cleansers for the Meek. If you want to look it up, it's on Amazon. See what it's about. I do have a limited amount of those copies. So just email me, or if you're following me on any social media or anything like that, just reach out to me. Comment on the fucking YouTube video if you want a copy, and I'll get in touch with you. I'll probably be collecting payment through like Venmo or PayPal or something like that. At least for now. But what else, dude? Should I promote anything else? I don't think I have anything else to promote, man. If you know anybody that you think would be like a cool guest on this podcast, also leave a comment below, because I have a lot of people that I want to get on, but I'm also I'll eventually run out of people, right? And well, not run out, but eventually I'll start to have a harder time thinking of guests. So if there's anyone you want to see on the podcast, comment that below. And also, if you're not already subscribed, that really helps. And it lets me know that you're listening, and it lets me know, I don't know what the fuck else it lets me know. I think it's just something you're supposed to say, right? Like, just remind people, because I think a lot of people that listen to it aren't subscribed, and so then you're not notified, and I've got to post about it somewhere else, and then you get shadow banned on Instagram because you're posting too much, right? Fucking censorship these days, man. I don't even want to get into it. It's so depressing, but it's real. So you just got to do what you got to do and live with it. Fight it in whichever ways you can. Dude, did this fucking go to the red filter again? Please tell me it didn't. Oh, no, it didn't. Hell yeah. But yeah, man, that's the podcast. Subscribe, give this a fucking thumbs up, share it with some friends if you think they would enjoy it. And I will see you next week. That's The Pupil's Life. Thanks for tuning in. Episode 55. Let's keep this going. Keep the train moving. All right. Thank you, guys.